Now, one thing Hollywood just can't seem to get right is making the transition from a video game to a movie. There have been absolutely loads of efforts to try and make this a success, and for just some reason, it just doesn't seem to work. And joining me in studio is Ross McDonagh to try and go through some of the films which have desperately tried to make a good movie off the back of a very successful video game. Ross, how's it going?
Hello, Gordon.
Ross, quickly, let's do it. The obligatory plug.
The plug, of course, for rossvross.com. Yes, that's just my own and fellow journalist Ross McGuinness's website, where we take two films and we battle it out over which one is best. And, well, it's not just two of us, of course. As I mentioned last week, Hans Gruber, super terrorist.
Of Die Hard fame.
That's right. He's on the staff now, and he's reviewing some of the upcoming trailers, so check it out.
I tell you something, the United States should have you guys trying to find a Bin Laden. If you can work with him, I'll tell you, fair play. Ross, what is it about the video game adaptations, movie-wise, they just don't seem to work. You've got directors like Paul W.S. Anderson, who is probably going to put his kids through college off the back of churning out these video game adaptations.
It's one thing I'll just never understand, Gordon. I mean, video games are awesome, movies are awesome, but why do two rights continuously make it wrong? Like, we've still waiting all the years since the Amstrad and the Commodore right up to the modern consoles. We're still waiting for a decent game to transcribe into a movie, and it still hasn't happened. It
hasn't happened at all. You take, for example, before we started the item, we were just talking amongst ourselves just about Street Fighter. And Street Fighter 2 in particular, and you had the Jean-Claude Van Damme version, which flopped big time. Then you had the manga one that came out, and it didn't hit a wrong note.
It is easily the best video game movie out there. I mean, I don't know if you haven't seen, definitely go out and buy it. It is absolutely superb. It's got all the characters, all 16 from Super Street Fighter, and it's a solid story, brilliant animation, excellently acted. The voice acting in it is superb. It definitely one to see. But I mean, the original film, the Street Fighter 2, Jean-Claude, what a stinker!
It's an absolute turd, and you've got Kylie Minogue in there as well.
Well, I mean, if that wasn't a warning, then right off. And sadly, as we were saying, Raul Julia's very last role, the excellent Raul Julia, has of course played Gomez in the Addams Family, and that was his legacy. Then
playing Sagat.
Bison.
Bison, was it? Sorry, what am I saying? Yes, I'm getting my fucking Street Fighter characters mixed up. And then they tried to go, you know what, let's do it again. We can make a decent film out of Street Fighter. And The Legend of Chun-Li came out. I don't even know if it's been released over here yet.
I don't think so. Has it been released in Japan?
It was released in the States, and it flopped big time.
Well, not surprisingly. I mean, Vega, who is of course the greatest video games character of all time, they've cast Taboo from the Black Eyed Peas. I mean, who thinks these things up?
Oh, you gotta love it. But then again, you only have to look back at some of the classic video games like Super Mario Brothers, Double Dragon. It only took some studio executive to think, oh, you know what, these could make good movies. Super Mario Brothers star Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo, and if I'm right in thinking, you also, where was the baddie again? Oh, in it there was Dennis Hopper. Played the villain in it. I know it was. I don't know why I was thinking Peter Fonda. Again, and it ended with a to be continued. Not a chance they're going to continue that turd.
No, I watched that when I was, I think, 7 years old, and then even back then I realised, my God, this is rubbish. Like, when I was, you're interested in bright colours and stuff like that, and you could tell that was stinking. Like, I just don't get. I mean, you've game designers putting all the effort into it. Like, the characters are there, the story's there, the background's there. It's all laid out for them, you know what I mean? And all you have to do is, just film it. I don't know why it doesn't work.
Simple. It's amazing how much they get it wrong. You have to look at other directors like Paul W.S. Anderson, who we touched on at the very top of the item. He's now made Resident Evil. He at one stage was attached to Castlevania. He's done Mortal Kombat. What else has he done? I think there's another video game adaptation in there somewhere.
Mortal Kombat wasn't too bad. I mean, it's a bit of a cult following, and I'll ashamedly hold my hand up. I kind of did enjoy Mortal Kombat. I loved
Christopher Lambert
hamming it up as Raiden. I thought he was rubbish, but good in a rubbish sense. But Resident Evil, I mean, a lot of money went into that. There was a lot of excitement as well, and a little bit pants, and it's still going as well. I mean, I don't think I've seen the last one. There's another one coming out next year.
Yeah, that's right. There's a fourth one, which is going to be in 3D. This is the big thing. That's going to try and put extra bums on seats. Mila Jovovich is back, but it's not like her. She's got a glittering film career anyway. I think she's kind of hanging on there with that Resident Evil movies.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many of them. They just slip under the radar. You like your Hitman, Max Payne. I mean, really solid, engrossing. Storylines in the games, and the films they're rubbish.
No, I think even as Empire had said themselves, they kind of got the title to Hitman wrong. They should have put an S at the very beginning, and that would have just summed it up perfectly.
Well, I never got him a hitman. I mean, he's supposed to be the best hitman in the world, and like, why can nobody catch him? He's bald. He's got a barcode on the back of his head. He wears the black suit, the red tie. Like, he stands out a mile. Like, he stands out like a sore thumb. His head looks like a thumb. Like, why can't they track this guy down?
That's great, Ross. That's actually very, very true. Tell us about Uwe Boll, or Uwe Boll. He's a German film director who has literally made his fortune off the back of video game adaptations.
The king of bad movie game videos. This guy's done it all. I know I've only admitted to seeing one of them, and actually I'll only admit to seeing about 20 minutes of one of them. That was Alone in the Dark,
right,
which actually had Christian Slater and Tara Reid in it, I believe, but that was enough for me. You know what I mean? That confirmed UAU. How are we pronouncing that?
I don't know. We were kind of debating this. You said UA. I think UA sounds kind of right. It's UWE.
Right. We'll call him UA for now.
But he had a big grant from the German government to make these video game movies, and when they started realising that every single one of them was bombing big time, they went, what the hell are we giving this lad money for?
No idea.
We've got to stop this now.
But he's still getting funding somehow. I mean, he's made like Castlevania and Blood Rain and House of the Dead. I mean, House of the Dead is a game where you just shooting zombies. It's a shoot 'em up. Like, you know, there's no story to it. You know what I mean? But
right.
It doesn't seem to stop him.
Yeah, and he made an absolute meal of that as well. That was terrible, really, really, really bad. So Ross, is there any other ones we can? I know Resident Evil 4 is coming out next year. What other little ones can we expect?
Oh well, there's loads. I mean, if you have a look, just Google the list of games to come. I mean, every game on the spectrum at the moment is being remade. There's some to look forward to. The likes of Halo, Gears of War, Dead Space, BioShock. I mean, they're 4 really, really good games, huge following. So there'll be a lot of interest in that. They won't want the directors to get that wrong.
Yes.
I know Metal Gear Solid, that's been bandied about for a while, but that again, the guys behind that, Konami and all that, they didn't want, like, UA Ball was connected to that.
Oh
like,
God,
get away,
don't the hell away. Yes.
And then you've some other strange ones like Sonic the Hedgehog, I believe, and Pac-Man, would you believe there's a film coming out of? I don't know how that's going to work, but it's certainly one to keep an eye on.
I don't know what some of these executives are smoking. Like, seriously, a Pac-Man movie?
I have no idea. But I mean, the next two, we have 2 coming next year. Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, which should be solid enough. Jake Gyllenhaal's in that, and Tron, of course, which is the
old Disney.
Jeff Bridges, which they'd be 2 certainly would keeping an eye on. Again, I do fear they're going to go the way of the game movie and Pan, but fingers crossed.
Well, yeah, exactly, Ross. We'll keep an open mind. Maybe it's our eternal optimism for films. Then maybe they'll eventually get it right. Ross McDonagh, thank you so much. Don't forget, folks, to check out Ross's website, rossvross.com, a fantastic website where you can see Ross and your fellow journalist, Ross McGuinness,
that's it,
battle it out over 2 particular movies.
That's it.
Great stuff. Ross, we'll talk to you again very, very soon.
Cheers, Gordon.